Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been away for a little bit. I haven't really posted any content, but we did take a hiatus from traveling. My dog had surgery and then my husband was in the hospital for a week and we've been dealing with both of their recoveries. So we kind of took a hiatus from traveling for a bit. But we are back. Husband's better, my dog is better, and I'm just ready to start posting more travel content of all the trips that we take the rest of this year. So I actually recently just went back to Colorado again. This would be the second time I've been there this year, but this is the first time I've actually been there during the spring, kind of towards the beginning of summer, which my friend and I, we go every year, but we tend to go for our birthdays, which are in March and April, which typically bring poor weather between the wind, rain, snow. You just never know what you're gonna get, and we just always kind of get like the crappiest weather when we go. So it was really nice to go to Colorado during a different season. I went with my mom and my niece, and I kind of just tagged along to my mom's already planned trip, which was really nice because I didn't have to do a lot of the planning. I did add a couple of things we wanted to do, like hikes and places to eat, things that I knew because I'd already been to Colorado before. But we did go to a few different places this time. We went from Estes Park to Breckenridge to Ouray, Durango. It was amazing. The state of Colorado is so diverse and so beautiful, and it was really nice to get out and see different parts that I had not actually been to before. So first we went to Garden of the Gods. My niece has actually never been here before. She's not as much of an outdoorsy person as me and my mom are, but we're trying to get her to enjoy the beauty of nature, even though she probably prefers to be dancing somewhere indoors. We ended up going to Rocky Mountain National Park, but because we went during the busier months, there was timed entry between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. There's no fee to reserve your spot, but you do have to pay the National Park Pass or price, for the day. We did not book a time slot in time and they were actually sold out, so that's why we went around Estes Park and kind of hung out before we went in, because after 2 p.m. you can just get in. You're just gonna probably wait in a longer line. There is, however, another timed entry for Bear Lake, so you can't access this road to Bear Lake unless you have a timed entry reservation. There are other roads in Rocky Mountain National Park where you don't have to make a reservation, you can just drive through, but because Bear Lake is a popular hiking spot, you do have to make a reservation, as the parking lot also does fill up. For us, we made our reservation at 4 p.m. We are able to drive up and park no issues. The parking lot is massive, so you do have to plan ahead and ensure you have time to park if there is space, because they do have a shuttle that will get you there, so you do have to find where that shuttle parking is, and factor in the timing that it takes to wait for a shuttle, take a shuttle to drop you off if there is no parking at the Bear Lake lot. Of all the times that I've been to Rocky Mountain National Park, I never actually knew Bear Lake, Dream Lake, and Emerald Lake were all really popular hikes. I guess I just didn't do enough research. We did the Bear Lake Loop, which is about 0.75 miles, like just under a mile, but it's actually easy flat terrain. There was slight inclines here and there, but honestly, it was like a nice, beautiful loop. Bear Lake is gorgeous. There was still snow on the summit behind Bear Lake, so it was a really pretty view. It was really peaceful. It is very popular for families because it is so easy to hike around, just like the loop of Bear Lake. So after that, I heard there was a waterfall and I heard there was more lakes. So I was like, oh, let's go check it out, We decided not to go with the falls, but we did go up to Dream Lake. It said it was a mile. I was like, a mile in, a mile out, that should be easy, no issues. Well, Dream Lake is a lot harder of a hike. It's not super hard, but it's more advanced than I would say your average hike. There was a lot of snowpack still because Denver was still getting snow all the way through May, and we went the beginning of June, and it was just, there was a lot of snow for the season. So while on the Dream Lake hike, we actually got word from other hikers that an elk just had a baby right off the trail. There was a ranger there to ensure the safety of the mom, the baby, and as well as the hikers to ensure that she had a pleasant delivery and it was quiet and peaceful as she deserved. And as well as, allowing people to get pictures and videos of this awesome experience. I have a few right here. Watching this mom elk and her calf, It was such an awesome experience. The ranger was kind enough to let us stay a little bit longer than others because I was trying to get really good pictures with my camera. After that, we continued on. Dream Lake, it's, once again, it's not usually this rough, I would say, but the snowpack was insane. There was so much snow, which kind of turned into ice, and it just made the hike a little bit more difficult than it really is. My niece and I kept going up to Dream Lake, which is absolutely breathtaking. Like, this hike is so beautiful. We didn't make it to Emerald Lake. My niece was a trooper, she's not a hiker, but she did continue on for me. I couldn't make her do Emerald Lake, so I will go back and do Emerald Lake. But we got this amazing view of Dream Lake and the mountains behind it. So to me, that was worth it enough. And I was so proud of my niece for just, you know, killing it on the trails, even though I'm probably sure she did not want to be there. Overall, we did about 4 miles that day. I will say, pack plenty of water, pack snacks. Make sure you wear hiking boots or at least something that's waterproof. I don't know how much snow will be there during the summer months, as much as it melts. But still, there's a lot of running water. So I do recommend hiking boots for the Dream Lake hike and the Emerald Lake hike. You just need that extra support as the terrain can get pretty rough. So after that, we went and watched the sunset in Rocky Mountain National Park. It was breathtaking, it was beautiful, it was so colorful. It was actually very pink, which was really cool. And then we just went back and stayed in Denver again. So the next day, we actually went to Red Rock Amphitheater. As many times as I've been in Denver and Colorado Springs, I have never gone to Red Rock Amphitheater. Now I really want to go back and see a concert because it's truly amazing. We didn't go there for a concert, we just kind of went there for some exercise. I did about 4 or 5 times up and back with my mom and my niece. And it's just really, like, it's a really cool place. I highly recommend if you get the chance to see a concert there. The acoustics, the views, everything, it sounded so amazing. So after Red Rock Amphitheater, we were actually continuing our drive onto Breckenridge. We did stop at Loveland Pass, which I highly recommend. This drive is so beautiful. It is a little nerve-wracking because it is really high up on cliffs. If you're used to driving mountain roads, no issues. But there's people mountain biking up this thing. Like, serious props to those people because this was not an easy feat. Like, these guys are beasts. But the views were immaculate. It's not that far off the road. It's there's an exit on the freeway right for it, and it's before you get to Breckenridge. Because we had done so much the first few days, we stayed in Breckenridge for one night. We didn't do much, we just explored the town. It is really cute. It has a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants, places to eat, drink, shop, whatever you want, as well as a lot of places to just sit and relax. There's a river that runs through, it's called the Blue River. It runs through Breckenridge, and there's plenty of places to sit by. There's a trail along the river. So we just decided to relax, listen to the river, look at the views. There was mountain views, snow still on the mountains. It was just gorgeous. We watched the sunset again. It was beautiful. Highly recommend staying at least one day or night in Breckenridge because it's a cute little town. Next day we drove from Breckenridge to Ouray, and it's about 4.5 hours, probably longer. It all depends on how often you stop to check out the scenery. It is a beautiful drive. Some parts aren't as beautiful, but the scenery changes so much. It's really cool to see how different Colorado is just depending on where you are in the state. Along the way is Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. We did decide to stop there because none of us had ever been there. It's one of the least visited national parks in the US, as well as the least visited national park in the state of Colorado. After that, we continued our drive to Ouray. So if you didn't know, Ouray is considered the Switzerland of the United States or of Colorado. I get how it's similar because it is a valley, you know, surrounded by crazy peaks, crazy mountains. Some of the mountain views were, beautiful, still had snow on them. It was a cute little town, and I highly recommend staying at least a night or two. It's another town that has like this cute river all the way through it. There's shops, there's places to eat. We had some really good food there as well as really good drinks. I didn't actually take a video of any of that, but you know, I'll put my recommendations down in the caption as well. So we spent the night in Ouray. Our hotel actually backed up to the river, so we took an evening just walk along the river as well. The next day we drove the $1 Million Highway all the way to Durango. If you've never heard of the $1 Million Highway, it gets its name from like a few things, like how much it costs to build it, the fact that there's gold all through those mountains, and just the views. Honestly, it is the most beautiful drive I've been on. It is known for being dangerous, as there are mountain roads with no guardrails and it just drops down. But once again, if you've driven on mountain roads before, it's no different. I didn't deem it any more dangerous than your average mountain road. So I think when people talk about it like being so dangerous, they've never just driven on mountain roads that have zero experience doing so. So we took the $1 Million Highway all the way down to Durango, where we actually did some whitewater rafting. We went with Mild to Wild. We did a class 2 with a small class 3 section, as my niece had never been before, and we didn't just want to like throw her into the wolves and not let her experience the calmness, but also the fun of whitewater rafting. So she did really liking the class 3 section. She actually wanted more of it, so that's good to know for our next trip. If you're comfortable with it, definitely do at least a class 3. Class 2 is very mild. I wanted more rapids, but it was still fun. It was still great to be out in the water. It was snow melt water, so it was really cold, but they do provide wetsuits. Well, you can rent wetsuits, and those do help, you know, with the chilliness of the water.
My eyes hurt.
How was it overall? Better than you expected?
Because they made class 3 sound like it was another entire thing. They didn't say it was
How much was it, or how good was it for you, Mom?
Oh, it was awesome, but I need more class 3.
Yeah, more class 3. That's what we're
even
thinking.
I said class 3.
Yeah, more class 3.
No class 4.
Yes, class 4.
I don't know if I want class 4.
So after that, we did drive back to Ouray via the $1 Million Highway. It was nice to see it at different times of the day. We were driving through in the middle of the day on the way down to Durango, but on the way back to Ouray, we actually did drive more towards sunset time. And then we were actually blessed to see a big old moose out in this meadow. Got to see it running and drinking water and eating and just enjoying its life. It was such a special moment. We actually got to see 2 moose this trip. It was just a bucket list thing for me. I had never seen a moose in person, so it was just a really exciting time for me. Overall, we had an amazing trip. A lot of great views, a lot of animals, a lot of good food, different sites, different activities. It was really nice going in spring, summer, as opposed to like early spring, you know, kind of towards the end of winter. I do recommend going towards these months. I will say plan ahead. Make sure you get your timed entry access for Rocky Mountain National Park if that's what you want to do, just to ensure you get to plan ahead and get into the time you want, as well as your timed entry for Bear Lake if you want to do those hikes. So the drive from Denver to Ouray total is about 5.5 hours, so just be prepared mentally for that. It isn't about the length, it's more about the mountain roads that you can't go as fast and you have to go a little slower. But it is a beautiful drive, so I highly recommend doing it if you have the opportunity and the time to do so. Once again, we stayed in Denver, Breckenridge, Ouray, all beautiful places, small mountain towns, so just keep that in mind when you're booking. You're probably not going to find like big luxury resorts there, but there are great hotels with great people running them. They were all clean, everyone was friendly. The breakfasts weren't great, just a heads up, I would bring your own breakfast foods. A lot of these small mountain hotels, the breakfast was not to write home about. But overall, we had a great trip. You know, I'll leave you with this. Bring your snacks, bring your water, bring your hiking boots, and enjoy Colorado. And until our next adventure.